The following program is seen statewide on California Public Television. Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell, and here we are at this absolutely beautiful spot called Windermere Point. We're right on our state's northern coast. We're in Sonoma County, and we have come here in search of a place that is one of the smallest, if not the smallest, state park in all of California. It's certainly one of the most obscure and least known. And there it is, right over there on that point. Now, you can hardly see it from here. You can't tell very much about it, but that's okay, because we're going to be spending the whole day over there. And by the end of the day, I think we'll all discover that even though it's small, it has a lot to offer, and is definitely one of California's golden parks.
I love you, California. You're the greatest state of all. I love you in the winter, summer, spring, and in the fall. I love your fertile valleys, your dear mountains. I adore.
Okay, our adventure begins, and boy, we have gathered a group of experts right here, because this is taking a little bit of digging for us to find out exactly what this state park is all about. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, my name is Ashford Wood. I'm a state park ranger, and I work at Salt Point State Park.
Nice to meet you, sir.
I'm Breck Parkman. I'm a state archaeologist.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Bill Walton, I'm a state park ranger. I work at Fort Ross State Park.
Now,
right down the
so
road here.
far, I haven't heard the name of this park
That's correct.
mentioned. And I got to tell you, right before we turned the camera on, you all were looking at your cheat sheets here to get all the information with the right dates and exactly what's going on, because even within the state park system, this is a little bit obscure, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is probably the least known state park in the state park system.
And what is the name of this state park?
This is Bufano Bufano's Expanding Universe Peace Statue.
All right, let's look at it right here as you repeat the name again.
Bufano Bufano, the Statue of Peace, Expanding Universe.
Now, this is an amazing piece. We looked at it from across the way, from the point down a little south off Highway 1.
Off Windermere Point.
Right. And that's the way most people see this for the first time.
That's correct. They come around the corner and see this huge obelisk, and they have no idea what it is.
Now, I have no idea what it is, and that's what we're here to find out. Let's start the story. I'm not sure where the story starts, but let's talk a little bit about this thing.
Okay, as far as we know, this statue was started in about 1962, and it was, as best we know, started by a gentleman with the Gualala Development, or Gualala
Gualala Investment Company.
And he was the one that was kind of the mover and shaker behind the building of this statue, which Bufano Bufano initiated and started and finished in about 7 years.
Now, why would someone from a development company want this built out here on the coast of Sonoma County?
So they could sell the Timber Cove Inn.
Ah, so it's connected directly with this beautiful hotel, this inn that sits right here on the coast.
That's correct.
But now, doing a little bit of research, this guy Bufano was quite a famous artist, wasn't he?
Absolutely. His art is found all over California, and he started his art sculptures, etc., from about the time of World War I on.
Now, what I've read about him, see if this jives with what you all know, because I did a little research too. He was born in Italy around 1900, I think 1898. He came to San Francisco around 1915, and right away made a name for himself as a conscientious objector during World War I. He was so opposed to the American involvement in World War I that he actually cut off one of his fingers and mailed it to President Woodrow Wilson to protest American involvement in World War I. Had you heard that story?
What a commitment that would be, and a sacrifice to make for peace.
Had you heard that story?
I had heard that story.
Had you heard that story?
That's the first time I've heard that story.
Had you heard that story?
I don't think so.
Well, that's what I got off the internet. And then I read that he also did all of these amazing statues and pieces of art that are literally found all over, specifically San Francisco today, and that he died in San Francisco in 1970.
That's correct.
So we've kind of gotten a little bit of background on Bufano, but I guess now we have to tie it in with this piece right here, and it's called a peace statue.
That's correct.
So that ties in with his whole philosophy of life and what he believed in all of his life.
Exactly, from the time of World War I through the turbulent 60s until he passed away in 1970.
All right, let's walk up closer to it, fellas, and take a look at this thing. How big is this park?
Well, it's one of the smallest state parks. In fact, close to the small, actually the second smallest apparently. It is actually consists of a radius of 60 feet from the base of the obelisk.
Okay, so it's 60 feet around it, and then how tall is the thing?
The statue itself is approximately 72 feet tall.
Now, did he come out here himself to build this? Obviously, he did all of this work out here.
He came out and he spent some time out here. He had a lot of laborers that were doing the work. A lot of the local people helped in the construction of this obelisk.
So he actually saw it completed.
That's correct.
Now, how do we get there?
Well, we kind of have to tromp
There's really no way to...
through the flora and fauna here, and eventually work our way up to the rock pile on which the obelisk stands. And so we'll have to kind of make our own trail across the ice plant.
They've got to check out this wooden whale right here. Gray whale is a monument
look at this.
Monument to migrating whales as they travel along the coast.
Wow.
So they check that out, and then you see they've made their way around because they see this statue. They have to go there.
Yeah.
They got to touch it.
Now, what's down here? This is beautiful right behind you. Is this a state park back up this way up the coast?
It's actually not, but in the far distance, you would be able to see Salt Point State Park.
Because there's state parks all up all up down the coast of this part of Sonoma County.
That's the beautiful part of Sonoma County, is it is quite full of parkland.
Yeah, beautiful parkland right on the coast, just like this.
It is beautiful, and and to have an esoteric structure like this Bufano Peace Statue just adds to the facets that exist in the state park system.
Absolutely. Now, have we entered the park yet? I'm not sure I know how far 30 feet out is.
It's really actually designated on the ground. I mean, we got to use our imagination here in a state park, which is what we do a lot of. But you want to imagine a line that's about 60 feet out from the center of the base of the Peace Statue. And so we're probably coming up pretty close to that spot right now.
Now, we're following a trail right here, but I don't think, do we just cut right up?
We can, yeah, we can just cut right up, essentially route step it right up this slope.
Come on, fellas.
As long as we got our, sure footing here.
There are no endangered plants.
Be careful to stay off the plants, of course.
See, I know how to act in a state park. This is certainly not easily accessible, is it?
Well,
no, here's a little trail up here.
I think if you walk around the perimeter, you'll find there are lots of roots.
Wow, we've reached the top. Almost the top, and boy, you got to be up here to see this, but this is an absolutely spectacular view.
Outstanding, isn't it?
Wow. All right, let's stop for just a minute while I take a breath. We have some visitors.
Finally.
Hi, how are you doing?
Fine.
Now, are you all staying in the hotel?
We just checked in.
All right, do you know what you're climbing up here to see?
No, that's why we came up.
Well,
we just passed by, so we're wondering.
Come on up. Come on up. We got a whole group here. This is
Whole
exciting
family.
because you're in luck. We have the expert right here from State Parks.
Okay.
Tell them what they're getting ready to
California
see.
State
We came out to look at it ourselves, and we're enjoying it, and we're glad that you're here too.
Okay.
This is the Bufano Peace Statue, and it's a state park, believe it or not.
Yes.
Maybe the smallest, but probably the second smallest state park in the whole
This part
system.
only?
This is it right here.
Okay.
It's a park. It's a state park even.
Yeah.
Well, is it incredible?
Yeah, but it's only this part
Yes.
where the
So,
statue
yeah.
is on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my park is bigger.
Where are you
From
from?
Holland.
You're from Holland.
Yes.
And you're all from Holland.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We are
Well,
a family.
welcome to the California State Park system.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I guess you all should be welcoming them.
We're very happy to have you.
But I think this happens a lot. People coming up here not really knowing.
No, what it is.
Yeah.
Well, can you explain us a
it's
little
a piece
bit?
of art.
Yeah.
It was
would think so.
constructed by a sculptor named Benjamin Bufano, and it was completed in 1970.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a piece. It's called a Peace Statue, the expanding universe. And I'm not seeing the expanding universe
No,
part
no,
really
no,
clearly,
No,
but that's what he called it.
got it. Okay.
Do you think that's a good name for it?
Well, expanding universe. I'm trying to translate it in my own language. But expanding universe. What would we say?
Uitdijen in de
Van the
universum.
universum. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Well, expanding is the growing universe. They say the universe is growing actually. You know, that's it. It's
Well,
not.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And we're standing here looking out at this beautiful view here. I mean, it's a perfect site for it, isn't
I
it?
think so. Yes.
Wow, this is
Looks beautiful.
very exciting. See, now these are 5 visitors. You need to chalk this up because, this makes this, visitation to the park.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to encourage them to visit some of our other state parks that are
we
right nearby.
already.
Like Fort Ross, which is right over
Right
here,
over there,
or
okay.
Salt Point, which is just up here in the
that we passed by
near
also.
distance.
They're bigger parks.
Yeah.
We stayed in the Redwoods, so we were in the Handy Woods State Park, and in Humboldt State Park, and Montgomery State Park. So,
Look at
Great.
we.
And we stayed at Lake Tahoe State Park on a campground. So.
Wow.
Leaf State Park, and we went to Yosemite, which is a national park, of course.
Wow.
So,
That was California's first state park.
it was first state park. Yeah.
Wow, so we really lucked upon a great family here.
Experts, we are experts.
You should
in
get an
state park.
honorary visitor's card.
And fans of state parks.
All right, we're going to continue our tour. You continue yours. The name of the family?
Thank you, Rainier Bresser.
From what town in Holland?
Well, near Amsterdam.
Nice to meet
Meet
you.
you.
This is your son?
Jim.
Nice to meet you.
Sven.
Nice to meet you.
Trudy. My
nice
sister.
to meet you.
Marika.
Oh, you're from Paris. Oh my gosh.
Very
Well, you're
international.
used to big pieces of public art like this.
Yes, of course. But,
Yeah, the Place de Concorde. Well, welcome and have a great day visiting around.
nice talking to you. Okay.
This is exciting.
This is wonderful. This is
So
very
see,
nice.
this is, we're kind of kidding about what a small park it is, but it literally brings people from all over the world who are
correct.
passing up and down the coast, staying at the inn, and just curious about what it is.
That's exactly right. This is a magnet, draws people's attention.
But the problem is, there's no, if we hadn't been here, they wouldn't have known anything about this.
Except for the small brochure that they have in the inn itself. There's a little description of what this is. But if they would miss that, they would not know what this is.
And people driving up and down the coast.
no clue. They don't understand what this is.
Looking at this thing closer, these are mosaics that he put in the side of this column, which is made totally of concrete. Now, are mosaics, was that what he specialized in all kinds of different art.
Well, sure. I mean, he's using color. He's using these in this case, he's using multicolored pieces of tile that are set in concrete and applied to the, to the surface of the structure itself. And you know, he's made this design which points and continues all the way up into the sky.
So this, you know, this was really, when you look at it, this was an amazing, just a technical feat to get this built out here in the middle of nowhere.
Well, you really have to use your imagination as to what kind of engineering went into getting all this stuff up here, all this concrete, and then how is it going to withstand the various weather conditions that we have on the coast, and rain and the winds and so forth that come through here?
Earthquakes, and there are hundreds of thousands of little pieces of mosaics in the side there.
Beautiful little pieces of tile that, you know, this is the side that faces the ocean, and so only the ones fortunate enough to be out here in a boat can actually get this view.
What's on the other side? I forgot to look.
Well, there's a similar design on the other side.
Exactly the same.
Well, I think it is.
I can't remember. I was so into just getting here.
There's a few other details on the other side. Yeah, but similar to this.
And what does the hand mean? I don't understand any of this. Does anyone know what?
Peace. It's the peace symbol, I believe.
Yes.
Just the open palm.
Right.
Going above a figure of,
Appears to be a woman.
it's kind of a, yeah, it's a woman, or it could be kind of a unisex,
Unisex, that's correct.
thing, just to kind of represent
A
mankind.
generic, universal, anthropomorph. Representing all of us.
This is really something. Let's go down here, because there's another little opening down here where you can
Get a little different perspective.
Yeah.
It'll be scary.
You know, this truly is one of the most beautiful pieces of art I think I've ever seen. Certainly public art, just out on a barren spot like this.
Well, it really does. It does draw attention to this location, and certainly it did what it was intended to do in the first place. And you know, it's a decoration really on an otherwise already beautiful place.
Now, Breck, as the archaeologist, what do you bring to this story that the rangers themselves might not know?
I'm interested in the location, Huell. I mean, just look at the location around us. I think Benny Bufano, or someone selected this site because of the site. We're as far west as you can go without getting your feet wet. We're looking across a vast Pacific at the Old World. We're sort of at an interface between two landscapes, the continent and the water, and we're facing back west to the Old World. So I think partly what makes this site special is that this statue interfaces between the water world and the land world, and between the old world and the new world. The tower is here for the same reason the hotel's here, and a lot of these fine homes we see up and down the coast. This is a special area. It's why we have state parks here. People, whether they can own property and have houses here or share parks, which is public space, want to be here. I've traveled all over the world. One of my interests is religious studies, shamanism, and rock art. And whether you're dealing with 1,000-year-old Buddhist temples or 5,000-year-old painted caves, they tend to be located in very similar places that anticipate power. And this is a very powerful place.
Well, it is powerful just because of the ocean and the strength of the ocean.
And the wind and
the wind, the rugged coastline, the like you say, the birds flying around, and the fact that this sits out here so isolated and so unknown, just in a funny kind of a way, adds to the whole mystique of the thing.
Absolutely. Part
It's
of the power.
almost like an individual has to search for the answer of what this is all about. Maybe that's what they were trying to accomplish.
That may have been Benny Bufano's purpose.
This thing is solid.
It is solid, yeah. We're on the narrow sort of side of it in a sense.
This isn't round, is it?
Well, it's sort of an oval shape at the base, isn't it?
And the more you look at it, the more you discover things like that.
Well, I think that's a very interesting aspect of the Benny Bufano Peace Statue, that little inspection hole there.
I'm looking inside there. It looks to me like I'm looking at part of a ladder.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me too. Doesn't that make you want to go climb up that ladder? See
Not
what's
really.
in there? Yeah. Well,
But
it
I'm
kind of does me.
wondering what they had a ladder for to go up there. I mean, where were they working from the inside out?
Well, I don't know. And obviously they went to a lot of work to put a structure inside this hollow that we now know statue.
That's big enough for somebody to go up.
Someone could actually go inside, and there is a wooden ladder structure up in there, and perhaps there's a way to go all the way up to the top to maybe complete the project from the inside.
And the other part that I noticed is that actually these mosaics are in very good shape up here.
They are. They're in very, very good shape. We were just noticing as we walked around the base that actually there are a few of them that have dislodged and fallen down around the base here. But really, as old as this Peace Statue is, they've really done well with it, with the kind of weather conditions, the ocean, the fact that the wind tears at this monument. It's done quite well.
Yeah, this is a very physical place.
It's very physical, especially the day in this nice little breeze.
Yeah, I think the breeze works up a lot more than this, though, doesn't it?
Well, I've been looking up to see if it sways or not, and it's not moving, so I think this is pretty sound.
As soon as we cut the camera off, you started giving us another explanation you had heard about this hole, which to me is very interesting and probably makes some sense.
Well, I did recall after we stopped there that this hole might be a way for work to be done on this statue that was not actually completed. And I understand that there were two horizontal arms that were to be attached as well to the vertical hand that's pointing up to the sky, that there were two horizontal arms that were supposed to be attached to this Bufano statue.
So this is an unfinished, maybe this is an unfinished piece of...
Very well be, and so maybe this access hole here would be a place where a worker could go up and help to fasten, bolt, or connect these arms.
You know, it's a shame that he died back in 1970, because there's no real way to find out unless I guess you could try to uncover the original plans wherever they exist.
Yeah, it is a shame because we can't now go ask him what he intended to do here, and is this really the finished product, or did he have other ideas in mind, or just exactly what it is?
What do you think?
A shame.
Well, I think even if he was still alive, I'm not sure he would tell us the answer, to be honest. He was sort of a unique character, and I think he might just let us figure it out for ourselves, to be honest.
Some more of these unanswered questions that become part of the whole experience.
Well, really, I mean, it's the beauty of even coming here and trying to figure out what does this mean, and how does it relate to the place where we are.
Look at the reflection of the sun now that's broken through the clouds, the way it's reflecting off the palm, the gold palm of that hand.
I'll bet that's not accidental, Huell. I bet that was part of the design of the monument. Benny Bufano's inner eye probably envisioned that if you put a gold palm up there facing the sunset or the late afternoon sun, that it would do just that very thing.
So it would reflect down the coast.
Light. Exactly. It's facing west, and that light reflecting off the setting sun is shooting back to the west.
It's very religious, though. Yeah. It has a very kind of a universal...
It does. If you look at religious cultures and expressions around the world, you'll see a lot of religious art where you'll have anthropomorphic human figures standing with their hands up. Shiva from India is one that comes to mind. It's a universal symbol of peace. If you have your hand like that also, if you go back in time, it shows that you're not armed. And that's sort of where we think that expression came from. If your hands are up, you're showing your hands and you come in peace.
And the face, it really does almost have a kind of an E.T. look to it. We were talking earlier about whether it was male or female, but this almost goes beyond even that.
It does. It's very universal. And perhaps Benny Bufano chose that to make a statement. If he had taken an actual face, he would have had to have chosen an area of the world, a race, a culture. But by taking a universal...
A gender?
A gender, exactly. He actually took one symbol that says it all, which is what peace is all about.
The Northern California coast with its rugged coastline, with its crashing waves, what an absolutely wonderful place for this Peace Statue. And fellas, I got to tell you right off the bat that when we started this adventure, we were having a lot of fun. I know I was, with just kind of, we're in search of the smallest state park in California, and I really didn't appreciate or even understand the depth of what we found here today. Because if you come here and you look at it and you spend any time at all in this location, you're really overwhelmed with what this statue, with what this park is really all about.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it's one of the secrets of this this spot right here. The Benny Bufano Peace Statue really does give you a feeling and a sense that you didn't have when you were riding here in your car and looking out at the ocean. You really can feel it here, and I really have to thank you for coming here and really kind of spotlighting how great this spot really is.
Well, I came here under false pretenses. I was going to have fun with it being the smallest state park, but I ended up being a convert to a place that in many ways isn't even on the radar screen.
That's right. It's one of the unknowns of the state park system.
Well, it's a jewel of the state park system. The name of it again?
It's the Benny Bufano Peace Statue, the expanding universe.
Wow. And it was created by a guy who was so heartfelt in his opposition to war that he literally cut off one of his fingers and mailed it to President Wilson in opposition to World War I. This statue has been here, part of the state park system, since
about 1982.
1982, and a wonderful little park it is, perched out here on our northern California coast. The name of the place is the
Benny Bufano Peace Statue, the expanding universe.
And this statue and what it represents is definitely one of California's golden parks. Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell Hauser, and I sure hope you enjoyed our adventure on the Sonoma coast to that amazing Bufano Peace Statue. Now, if you'd like to go on this adventure again, share it with family or friends, or perhaps donate a copy to your local school or library. It's available on video cassette and on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727, and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.